I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money. I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money.
Welcome to I Look Good Naked podcast with Terry J. Vaughn and
Cass Seeger's Beatles. Every week
I'm
it's
always
different.
so confused. Is she just Cass or is she Cass Seeger's Beatles?
I'm a Gemini. It really depends on which twin shows up for the podcast.
Okay. And which twin is this? Is this the
One
good?
that goes by the full name.
Okay. Is this a good one or the bad twin?
This is the good twin.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Then I don't mind sitting
The
next
bad
to
twin
you today.
doesn't use my husband's name. The bad twin is just always in just limbo.
Cass.
It's just in limbo.
I'm just Cass. That's bad. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're excited to join us. Do you have a quote today?
I do
Cass?
have a quote today. We're going to start with the quote.
Do you guys know I call Cass Cassandra?
She does. Why? I don't know.
I think
it's because my name has a capital S in it because Edna and Johnny were very creative.
Cassandra, do you
Yes.
have your quote for them?
I do have my quote for today. It's by Rumi, who is one of my favorite.
Rumi?
Yes, one of my
As
favorite
in
poets.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's baby?
No.
Rumi?
See, this is the thing.
Already
all
writing
of these
poetry?
new people will all of a sudden be, which is good. This is great because people will look it up, maybe. But no, Rumi is a poet. He writes a bunch of love poets, like love poems. Poets.
So do you think Jay-Z and Beyonce named their baby after
I
this
do.
Rumi?
I think that they are
Have
very.
they said that?
No, but I
So
just
you're
feel
just
that they
assuming?
do. No, I know. I feel that that's who they named him after. Named is the girl's Rumi, right? Yes, because the boy is Sir.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the girl is not Sir.
No, that would be weird.
Pretty sure.
So Rumi, back to Rumi, who's one of my favorite poets.
And I'll talk about my Beyonce crush at another time.
Yes.
Anyway, keep going.
My quote is, so Terry can stop interrupting me. Let the beauty of what you do. That's wrong. That's not my quote.
See what
Right.
I'm saying?
Let the beauty of what you love be what you do. Let the beauty of what you love be what you do.
And let that sit there for a minute so people can take that in. All right.
All right. Do you know why I picked this quote?
Nope. Please explain.
Because
Expound
I love what
upon
I
that.
do. That's really it. And I've always lived my life like that. I have always let the beauty of what I love be what I do. I've always followed my gut. I've always followed my passion, whether it made sense to everyone else. I like whether it was a relationship, and that's the beauty of whatever I love was whatever
Right.
I wanted to do
Right.
or whomever I wanted to do, or if it was my career. And I've just always gone by, like, I've always followed love.
Yeah. You know what? I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I've always done that. Hence, I'm the only one in my family in this crazy business.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. I moved from California. Everybody else was like, what? What are you doing? Yeah. I've always just moved.
Yeah.
For love.
There's something
Love of what
God.
I'm
There's
doing,
something God
Yes,
in
I
that.
agree.
And so that's
completely
what I want to
agree.
encourage everyone to do. And I don't know, because it's just you have such a destined life, and there's such a peace about it, even when things are challenging and bad and whatever. There is a peace about knowing you are where your love is.
It's faith,
Yeah.
too.
So,
It's just all grounded in faith. And definitely, we are both faith walkers.
yes.
That is a true statement because we have been in some crazy situations.
Yep.
Walking on faith.
Walking on that faith. Feet burnt, feet scald. It's just a mess.
That's okay.
We still walking.
And here we are. We still
Walking.
walking. Thank you, God. Okay. And so I will highlight my female of the day. And today I have chosen Ida B. Wells because Melissa said, our producer, said that she played her in the play. So I'm going to pick Ida B. Wells in tribute to Melissa, who it's her birthday today and we're celebrating her, but we'll talk about that later. Yay. Okay. So Ida B. Wells, born July 16th, 1862 through March 25th, 1931. She was a civil rights leader, feminist, crusader for justice, and former slave. Became an activist after being forcibly removed from a train in 1884 because she refused to leave her first class seat and moved to the back. So Miss Rosa Parks was not the first one.
But that everyone, I mean, there are several, but you know.
But yeah, I didn't realize this is 1884.
Right. People were still sitting down.
Girl. Okay. Used her platform as a journalist to lead an anti-lynching crusade in the United States in the 1890s. Formed the National Association of Colored Women in 1896 and later co-founded the NAACP.
Yes, I knew that. I did know that.
You're so much smarter than me. I did not know that. That's awesome. I swear, Black women, we are just, we're just incredible. Anyway, called for President Woodrow Wilson to put an end to discriminatory hiring practices for government jobs, created the first African-American kindergarten in her area, fought for women's rights to vote, and tried to run for Senate. Raised awareness of the oppression of women and African Americans throughout the U.S. and internationally. And that is Ida B. Wells, ladies and gentlemen. I love her.
Oh, yay for
That's
Ida.
Fantastic. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like this is what we have in our bloods,
I
ladies
agree.
and gentlemen.
I hope one day
That's
we're
what's
on
running
cards.
through our veins.
Do you think we will be? Think somebody will put us
You
on
think
some
we
Black
will be
History
on
card?
Black History flashcards one day?
I don't. If not, we should make our own. We should make our own Black History flashcards for
Ourselves?
our generation. No, for the kids.
And we should
Like,
read
put all
them
No, we
about
should not
ourselves
read-
to ourselves.
No. Today I'm going to read Terry J. Vaughn. You probably are on somebody's flashcard.
But you know
somewhere.
what? No,
But
all
really,
jokes
we
aside,
should. We
no.
should.
But we rarely highlight or talk about what we do. So I am going to highlight you,
Okay,
Miss
but
Cassandra
can I tell you
Beatles.
something before you do it? though?
Beatles. What do you want to tell
really
me?
funny
Something?
that came to me this week.
Is it going to make me forget what I want to say?
No, because it actually leads into the highlighting
Okay.
part. Okay, so I like Gianni Versace. Like, okay, you know, I used to be in fashion and all of that, so I love fashion and whatever. So I watched his documentary.
Yes.
Who Killed? I don't know if it's called Who Killed. Did you see it?
No, but you told me you saw it.
Okay. Well, it came out
Ricky
again,
Martin
and I
is
watched
in
it
it,
again.
right?
Ricky Martin is not in
No?
it. No.
Oh.
It's like a docuseries, and it's like one of
He
those.
did a movie where he played him, didn't he?
No, I don't know.
Melissa, please Google that. I swear to God, he did.
I don't know what
I
Ricky
swear,
Martin did, but
please.
he was not in
I'm
this
gonna find this.
docudrama.
Okay,
It's
go.
an investigative docudrama that was basically about the killer, Andrew Cunanan, who killed Gianni Versace. And I had forgotten that he was actually a serial killer, and that Gianni
killer
Versace,
was?
yes, Gianni Versace was just one of his many, many victims. He had killed like 6 or 7 other people before he killed Gianni Versace, and then they tied it all together. But the doc was about Gianni Versace, and all they kept saying was his other victims and Gianni Versace, and they never even really mentioned the other victims. And all I could think about was it would really be messed up if you got killed by a serial killer and someone else more famous than you also got killed by the serial killer. No one would care. So it really made me think, man, I don't want that to happen to me.
This story is crazy.
No, really.
So you
like,
really
half
had
the
a
night,
thought
oh,
about,
absolutely.
oh my
I
God,
was
if
like,
a serial killer
yes.
killed me, but then killed Halle Berry, they would never remember me.
They would never remember you. And so I was like, I've got to get my social
Your
media
family-
numbers up.
No, your family and loved ones will remember
You know how
you.
they remember me? Like, damn, she got killed by the same person Halle Berry got killed by. That's what Edna would say after she said, "How's Cassandra?" You know, Cassandra.
True.
I think
Such
so.
a crazy thought.
I don't know, but that
And
was.
this is why I love you.
But that was the first thought that came to my
Of
head.
course
I was
it
like,
is,
I was
my
like, man,
love.
those other people, nobody even cares about the other people he killed. They
his
didn't even mention his
family
name.
do.
Yeah, well, I just felt bad for him. So I looked it up so I could find out.
So
who-
you have the list of people
I
this
did that
man
night.
killed?
I did because I felt bad for them because
So
I just
weird
felt like they should get
sometimes,
some sort of
guys.
recognition. So anyway, I just hope I'm the most famous person out of my serial killer list. And so now that leads.
Well, I'm really hoping
I
that
don't
you
get
will
killed by a
not be
serial
killed
killer.
by a serial killer.
Well, I hope I'm
or
not
anyone.
killed by anyone.
Yes.
But
I was right. Look, Ricky Martin
felt anger after watching the finale series of FX's
Versace series. She played him in a movie. Yes, and you're trying to act like I'm crazy.
Well, I just didn't see that, and that's not the special I was speaking of.
No. What, Melissa, go ahead.
Melissa saw it.
Was it good? Oh, Melissa said
you're a fan of Ricky Martin, Melissa? You like Ricky Martin?
Is it something wrong to be a fan of Ricky Martin?
I just want to know if she was one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
She likes his music. You don't like his acting.
I don't think he should have played Gianni Versace.
Yeah,
who should have played Gianni Versace?
It does seem weird to me.
Liam Neeson. That would have been a very interesting interpretation.
I think Jamie Foxx could have pulled it off.
Well, he's Italian. You know, Italians are Moors. So, I mean, it really could have been played by a black man. I know all the Italians are probably going to be mad and stop watching our podcast. So. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I said all that to say I should be more popular. So now that leads to your
Oh my God, that was so around the world.
No, man, I've done a lot of things, people, and I've got to get my social media numbers up. So here we go.
And I just have a problem with this whole, it just bothers me. The social media thing really does bother me. Because I just felt like,
what do you feel like?
Yeah, people are using it for popularity or whatever. And I guess, is that why I do it? I don't know.
I don't know. You were happy to get 500,000. You were like, yes, you were telling people.
I don't even remember.
You were like, guys, I'm at 500,000 followers now.
I really think you're lying because I didn't. Actually, David told me.
Well, maybe that's why you repeated it. I don't know.
No, David was and as a matter of fact, I remember the moment.
It was in the office, right?
And David said, "Hey, congratulations on getting 500,000." And he was like, "Aren't you happy about that?"
Oh, maybe that's what I heard.
Yeah, I'm like, because that so was not me.
Yeah,
trying to sell it. See?
Well, I only have like 3,000 followers.
But no, I'm just saying that I feel like the whole social media thing, it's great. And I feel like, and I guess it's all personal, that it should be used for encouraging, uplifting, motivating, and
girl, bye.
But you can do that by sharing what you do, because I see something, Ava's posting something she's doing, that's inspiring to me.
Yeah, but
so
everybody's not doing things. So you can't, if what you're doing is tearing people down, then that's what you're posting.
And that's what should not be happening.
Well, then
that's
you're just trying to change the world. And I don't know if that's happening.
Anyway, those are just my thoughts. But back to you and how fabulous I think you are. So Cass is pretty fucking bomb. She, we all know she's a writer. I met her many years ago.
I'm gonna start saying it like the lawyer guy on TMZ.
Nope,
I'm a writer.
Don't do that, because then it's weird, and then I'm not gonna be her cheerleader. But she's written 7 novels.
I have written 7 novels.
7 novels. Now, come on, y'all. Writing novels. Everybody can't write a freaking novel. This broad writes novels. I think that should be applauded. And she has 7, and they're fucking fantastic. And it's how our relationship started, because I read her first one and I was like, ooh, I love this. It was really good. It was really juicy. And then she transitioned because I kidnapped her into the world of movie and television.
Right.
And she became a film writer, a film and television writer. And we have had how many movies to air that you have written?
I don't know, a bunch.
About
at least 10.
12 or 13. I think the number is 13.
Okay, we'll say 13. I don't know,
so 13,
but a lot.
And they're written by her. And I just think that you're fantastic. And I think people, let me get your social media numbers up. I think that people should follow you at Cass, Cass, Sigers, Cass Sigers.
Yeah.
How come you don't have your Beatles on that?
Because I did it. It's too long. Yeah,
I was going to say, don't say you had it before you got married.
I don't know. Because I was Cass Sigers for a long time, even after Beatles.
And your novels are under Cass Sigers,
My novels
right?
are under Cass Sigers.
So I think you should follow. No, not that I think you should follow her. Go follow her. If you're listening to this podcast, follow her now. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow at Nina Holiday, ENT.
Yes.
As well. And do we have any other platforms?
At Terry J. Vaughn.
Yep. Do that too.
At ILGN.
I look good naked. It's the first letters.
I said ILGN.
I know. I'm just telling them so they're not going to remember letters, but they remember the sentence. I look good naked. Take the first letter out of every word.
No one's going to remember that. ILGN podcast. How about that?
And do that. That's what I think you should do.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, so that's our history. I just did your history.
You just did my Black History flashcard. You did not.
That was not. That you have a lot.
But that's quite all right. And I appreciate it.
I don't feel like going through all the titles, but you have several.
I do have several titles. We
just
the
wrapped.
title people. We just wrapped a film.
Yep.
Called Merry Wishmas.
Yes. Which
with
I'm
TV
very
One,
excited about.
which we're very excited about. Shout out to TV One for giving us that opportunity.
Yep.
It will air in December. Right now, December 5th, but that changes. But Terry J. Vaughn directed it.
Yay. Cass Seegers Beatles wrote it.
And it stars David and Tamela Mann, and they are hilarious. And it stars Tawanda Braxton and Kim Fields
and some really great.
Kim's amazing husband, and he was very funny, Chris. And
Atlanta talent.
It was Atlanta talent. Oh my God, that's so sad. I just forgot Chris's last name, but yes, Morgan. Thank you, Chris Morgan. And it was a lot. And my girlfriend Navanya Rhodes, Terrell, it was just really good. You have to wait basically till December to see it. But
so that's why I wasn't even going to bring it up. But I'm just propping
because Nina Holiday
and we co-produced it with Bobcat Films, Roger Bob and Angie Bones. Love them, always supportive.
So
and Melissa,
we just got a good crew. Melissa, associate producer on it. We just got a good crew of people, man.
We just be doing shit, Cass.
We do, including this podcast.
So and that's why our sponsors need to we have had someone approach us about sponsorship, but we didn't feel like it was a good fit, so we haven't, and there was just that one. But there more should be coming. So at the beginning of this podcast, it should have been sponsored by
we're just going to sponsor them with our stuff,
Pepsi, or sponsored by
I don't know,
Coca-Cola, or sponsored by Spanx. I'm just saying, you guys should call us. You're missing out on something here because our podcast is the shit.
Maybe it's all the cursing. Anyway, maybe they don't want that.
They don't care about that.
They don't care about that?
No.
Oh, okay.
All righty. It's free. These brands are free.
Is free.
Yes.
Okay, well, speaking of good vibes and how awesome we are here today in celebration of our good friend and our other good friends, just our friends and our crew. This is a celebration crew day. And we have, we're saying happy birthday to Melissa. Because it is her birthday today.
It is her birthday. She's our producer of I Look Good Naked podcast, along with the other crew.
She's a producer. She's a writer. She's a director.
She's a singer.
She's
going to be dropping a single
in
next
April.
month. So we'll interview her then.
Yes.
So as of right now, just don't talk. You cannot be interviewed right now. So be quiet over there. It's not your time yet.
Just make sure the sound is good right now. That's all. There's your job right now.
Make sure we sound good right now. That's all you need to do. And
but we are celebrating friends. We have Marin here. We have Jessica here. We've just got the Nina Holiday crew, Rick Flo, and we have a special guest.
We do. Cass invited her chef friend.
My chef friend. I wish I had a chef to cook for me every single day.
If he's really your friend, he will come and do that for you.
Well, he did. He did it. He sent me an invoice of how much it would be every week, and it made me feel like maybe we aren't that close friends. Maybe this is just a business relationship.
Well, no, he's a friend.
But his food is awesome. But yes, he is a friend, and we are going to talk to him later on about staying healthy and taking care of our bodies and celebrating life, because a lot of celebrating life is staying healthy and being conscious of what we're putting into our bodies.
And it's important. It's like in our busy world, everybody is running around trying to be successful, working on being successful. And we work, rush through this life. And we have to, for our health's sake, we have to stop and pause and celebrate what we've done. Just celebrate ourselves. We're celebrating our friend. It's her birthday. She should be exalted today. So we are not quietly.
Exalted quietly.
Yeah, just don't say anything. She should be celebrated, and so we're going to take a moment and celebrate her today. We're drinking cocktails here. Cling, cling, cling. We are drinking, except for Marin. She's on some kind of fast. She has a plastic container of water for some reason. But we have apple martinis, and Cass is drinking some concoction that she's made up.
Concoction. It is a coconut mojito. Why is that a concoction? That is a real drink.
I don't know. Those bottles over there. She has 3 bottles to make her drink.
Whatever.
We had 2.
And
vodka and apple stuff.
I'm more complicated.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. And so we'll be right back with Chef Cedric so we can talk about food and eating and being healthy and celebrating life.
That's it. We'll be back.
I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money. I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money.
And we're back. We're back to I Look Good Naked podcast, and we have our guest with us, the guest that we teased you guys about earlier. We have Chef Ced, or Chef Cedric, or Chef Ced Sizzle. He has several names, but
and you're doing that sexy voice again.
because
What just
I don't know,
happened?
because I had just had some
a little
good
while
food.
ago. You were
Chef
not
cooked
doing
for
that.
us, and you
I
guys
think
should
it
have
was your
seen this
mojitos.
feast. And it might have been the mojito too, but
So
it
now
might have
she's
been
sexy
good
voice.
food.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I love good food, and he's here to talk to us about good food and good relationships and living well and living good and all these wonderful things. Chef Ced, welcome to I Look Good Naked.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. How y'all doing today?
We're
good.
super fantastic. I'm just tripping off of Cass how she got all sexy all of a sudden.
I don't know.
When you came and sat down with us, I'm trying to figure out. And she did that whole intro with her eyes closed.
Did I? Did I have my eyes closed?
Yes, your
Sure.
eyes were closed. So anyway, welcome to I Look
Y'all
Good
don't listen to
Naked
Terry.
podcast.
Just messy? Oh, just
Cedric.
messy.
Chef Cedric, what's going on, brother?
Starting no static. Won't start down, don't be none. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm just chilling, doing what I do.
Well, thank you. You made us a fabulous feast tonight, and we're all stuffed, and it was really good. And so I was introduced to you from my girl Cass. And how do you guys know each other?
Well, how do we know each other?
No, we were talking about a film project. I was supposed to be shooting a reality show. You were going to shoot something at a restaurant. That's all I can remember.
No, I met you several years ago through Carla Winfrey. Mm-hmm. And she told me, Cass was a writer, and I met you. I think I reached out to you, and you was having a little event on Boulevard, and you invited me out. And I was like, man, that's really cool. Because normally when people invite me out, they're like, you bring some food, But you was like, no, don't bring anything. I want you to come out. And when I came out, you was working on a project. I think it was Terry, Megan Good. It was like a Black Girls Magic in LA, the project.
Was it? Was
a
it
documentary.
It was a documentary.
The
So that was like
documentary.
10 years ago.
10
that
years
was,
ago.
Yeah,
That
wow,
was
that
10
was
years
crazy.
ago.
I didn't even realize it was that far
So
back.
we were doing a screening of it? Because we shot it in LA. So
must
we were
have been
doing
a
the screening,
screening.
and you invited him to the
Yeah.
screening. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is cool. I was like, this young lady is going places. So we just, kind of like kept
I
up.
was going places. I still am.
Well,
Somewhere.
he was going somewhere. But yeah, so that's how we met. So it's cool.
And so you are a healthy chef? Is it with that? How do you
He's
label
a lot of
yourself?
things. He's an author as well. So just kind of
Okay,
run down
yes.
your list of accolades, because you do have lots of accolades.
Okay, and let me give you the elevator.
Yes.
So when I was 5 years old, I read this book.
That's a low elevator.
No, when I was 5 years old, I read this book called Stone Soup. Well, actually, a teacher read it to me. Stone Soup, that their best book. And the book basically is about two chefs that go into a village that was like hungry. They was in the military, and this little village was cute. They had a little money, kind of like in the birds, And they went in, wanted something to eat. They was hungry, but people were scared to feed them. So one of the chefs was like, hey, I'm going to trick them. Let's have this magical soup. And then he said, I'm going to make this stone soup. All I need is a pot. So this big old guy came out with a pot. He's like, I got a pot. He's like, if I had a carrot, I can get the soup going. So the people was curious, and then, you know, the next thing you know, they had this big feast. And that's how they was able to feed the people. And at that moment, I knew that's what I wanted to do, because I was going to use it to get in the game. And when I say get in the game, I can do anything I want through cooking.
Oh, wow.
So I just tuck it from there. Okay, so we going up 11th floor. I went on to go to college, hotel restaurant management, culinary school in Atlanta. And then I left something back in Texas. My little girlfriend, little sweet, little red bone. Little red bone, you know. And I went back and I was like, hey, are you ready to get on this train? She's like, yeah, I'm ready. I said, you better be ready, because it's going to get bumpy. So I gave her a helmet and a mouthpiece. And
helmet?
Yeah,
because
it's about to get bumpy. And you need that helmet on and you need that mouthpiece. And it's been 30 years later.
Oh,
And before I left the house, I gave her a kiss like I just met her.
Oh, so sweet.
But I mean, it's just like, you know, I was watching a show the other day. I don't want to call her name, but there was some brothers on there, you know, like in this basement. And they was talking, man. And I was like, wow, they was wrong. All the shit they was talking, man. It was
I'm
like,
not going to say like how most men are.
no, it ain't. It's not like that, because a lot of guys, man, they look at me and they just like, so you tell me, man, you know, you've been married, man, you around all these celebs and stuff, man. How you stay focused and all that? I say, I'll stay focused because I know what I have, and I'm not gonna mess this up for nobody. Y'all, you know, see me out there like Johnny Carson and getting caught up in shit. Yeah, you know.
You chose
the
you
know,
one you love.
And that's how,
you don't
you know,
want to lose her.
Oh, that goes back to
you
my
know.
quote.
So
and a lot of
I remember you
back to
talking
my
about
quote.
A lot of
you know.
people don't really go with the one they love. They go with
No.
somebody they think they should be.
The one they need. You know
Right,
what I
or
mean?
the one
So
they need. And needs change. So
yeah. So here it is. You know, I got a 15-year-old daughter. She's an opera singer, and I have an 11-year-old gymnast that he wants to be a superstar. I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a superstar.
So are you doing what you want to do?
Oh, I'm living the dream every day. You know, I tell people, they always say, you know, because I'm a private chef. I work with a lot of celebrities. I cook for a lot of celebrities. But just like the name Private, you know, I flew under the radar. I protect these people like they're my own.
That's right.
You know, and I don't use their brand to be like, you know, people are so celebrity infested these days that it's scary. I don't want to be. And I work for some of the biggest brothers in the game, like on the planet, you know. And I talk about it in the book. You know, I'm gonna do a little pub, the chef game. You know,
That's right.
I got a book.
brother.
I got a book coming out in 3 months. It's about time because I done did movies, TV shows, but this is my first book because I was like, hey, I'm not ready, but now I'm ready. I'm ready for this book for these guys to tell the story, to
made
hear
you
my
ready?
story. What made me ready was my health, and I was like, you know what? I can't die and leave without telling these stories and leaving something to my kids. You know what I mean? You know, wealth is a new health. Health is a new wealth, you know? And so this book is titled The Chef Game, The Do's and Don'ts While Cooking for International Superstars. And I take it all the way back 20 years. And I talk about some celebs before they got famous that I cooked for. And that's what was like really special to me, that I was able to write it without even mentioning their name.
Oh, wow.
Without even mentioning their name. But that was the cool thing about it. When you listening and reading it, you're like, I know who that is, but they can't say shit because I ain't said their name. So it's like, only way is like, you know, you come out and be like, oh, you talking about me? Like somebody else, like, you talking about me? But it's not even.
Somebody did that?
Recently, somebody told on themselves and shit. But you know, I'm just saying, you know, it's just like, why I don't roll like that. But I have a couple, you know, on there that gave me the permission to mention their name once. And I was like, cool, I take it, you know, which, you know, you can follow me or whatever. And it's no, you know, it's no secret. But the thing about it, this book is not about them. It's about my conviction. It's about, that's why it's the do's and the don'ts. I tell you the do's and I tell you the don'ts, you know, people ask me, hey, Ced, how did you get in the game of like cooking for all these celebs? Well, what I did, 15 years ago, I used to go in just like I came here, you guys in here, doing y'all thing, right? Remember, you was like, I come out here and you cooking. I would be in the garage, find out where Terry is. Okay, I go over there, lay the shit out, put my card somewhere, and bounce, just leave. So that was my communication to you, not in your face. Hey, can you put me on? Hey, can you turn me on to this?
Right.
No, here's my food. It speaks for itself. So after like maybe, I say 15 years later, my phone started to ring. And like, hey, I need you to come over here, come over there. And then I was like, how did you get my number? And it's like, I don't know. I ended up with it. In my business cards, I have one business card now, like in my wallet. It was very simple. I had the same phone number I had 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Didn't change it. Don't change it. People change their number because they get their shit cut off. Change carriers, but I keep them because it's loyalty. I've been having T-Mobile, little T-Mobile, pub here, whatever.
Right. T-Mobile, we need a
You should be a
sponsorship.
sponsor of our I Look Good Naked podcast, brought to you by T-Mobile. Yes, you should.
When they send me that little, hey, your shit about to be cut off soon, I call them up and say, hey, I've been with you guys 20 years. Can you roll me? Can you roll me over? Can you roll me over? Can you roll me over? Roll them minutes over? And they be cool with it. They be like, yeah, Mr. Bradley, you've been a loyal customer, blah, 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 blah. And it's all good. So that's how, that's how I did it. So then people, they tell me and shit, it's like, Ced, why you don't be on the reality shows and shit like Chopped and all that? I was like, I'm on IMDb. They don't let me get on no damn reality show. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's for somebody that need a fucking career.
You gotta say it.
I mean, come on. The thing about it, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against reality shows because hey, when Food Network, Who Wants to Be a Star and shit, before they even existed, my shit was right there with the other guys.
Right.
But they didn't pick me because when they did my background check, they was like, this nigga's making movies, he's doing this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he's doing what dudes that get on these reality shows, they should have their stuff together. So when they get that break, they need to have everything together so they don't have that agent or that manager coming up there like, let me pimp you. No, I got a manager, been with me since I've been in college. He managing me from San Antonio, Texas. It's like...
Is that where you're from? Where are you from?
I'm from Texas. I'm from Dickinson, Texas. Actually, where the hurricane, where you saw him walking through waist neat. Well, to interesting, everybody flooded except my mom's house. And the reason being, my grandfather built the house on his land when the Army Corps of Engineers built this highway in the wrong spot. They built it they missed it like 28 miles. And my grandfather built on where it was high because one of the guys that was like, yeah, this was like in the 40s, 50s, So when the flood came, my mom, she rebuilt her house already, but it's built up like 3 feet.
Wow.
So she didn't get any water.
Wow, look at that.
So that I owe the wisdom also to my grandfather because he put me on a track, man. It was like, and he said, if you stay on the track, and do everything I told you to do, you'll be fine. And that's why, it's like, you probably never seen me before in your life.
No, I haven't. I'm very happy to meet you and eat your food tonight. But yes, no, this is my first time meeting you. And I'm loving and enjoying the company and the energy and the wisdom that you're sharing. Yeah. So,
want me to tell you when I first saw you?
Yeah, tell me when you first saw me.
I was gonna say, now that voice changed.
Right.
When I first saw you.
Yeah, when did you first see me?
I first saw you in a flick.
Oh, Lord.
Called Drinking Your Juice. Yeah. And I saw you.
What's the whole title?
Drinking Your Juice. And
No.
Oh, how to be a menace to society. No, how to be a menace.
Don't be a menace.
Don't be a menace
To society while drinking your juice in the hood.
Juice in the hood. Yeah,
There you go.
that's when I.
Say it, you gotta say it
Okay,
right.
well, you know, I mean,
Shout out to
I've been drinking
Wayans.
water on the water.
Shout out to the Wayans.
Yeah, shout out to the Wayans. But that's where I first saw you, and that was cool though. You know, I always.
But this is your first time meeting me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my
That's
first time
funny.
meeting you. I supposed to have met you like a couple of years ago, but
Don't look at me. I don't know. My life is crazy.
Cass was like, "I'm gonna bring." I said, "Bring out on the set, man." I had to help you in the VIP, you know, and
So tell me about. So you said you've been on TV and movies and stuff. Tell us what, because I don't know. Tell me.
oh, okay.
What were you doing? on
Okay,
set?
on my first movie, I wrote about my life in 2001 called Invisible Kitchen. In fact, I brought you guys a DVD. I got distribution and everything, but I had no marketing behind it. I got a distribution company that did it.
We know
Yeah.
all about that.
But he didn't want to market it because something happened to him, and which was cool, you know. Shout out to St. Just Entertainment, Mark St. Just, man. Shout out to him, man. I mean, he gave me my first, distribution. So I wrote this movie about myself, basically about a African American chef in a French world, and it was in 2001. And I was ahead of my time. I guess it was like a vision that I received, and I like quit cooking to write this movie to tell this story. So I wrote it, directed, produced it, and cooked it. This movie,
God.
I shot it in Atlanta, and
had a
over
crew? You
6.
hired the
Yeah, no, I didn't hire shit. I paid them with food. Well,
that's hiring, though.
Hired, though.
Because I fired somebody and they said, you can't fire me because you never hired me.
Right.
So don't even come with me with that shit there. But anyway, I shot this movie with Eric Bumba Ari and this other cat named David Watkins. They was film students that had just graduated. I shot this entire movie on a Canon XL1. And I shot this movie in Atlanta in over 60 locations.
What?
Yeah, and it took me a year to shoot it.
Yes, it did.
And I shot that shit just on Sundays.
Shot it for 50 Sundays. That is a movie in itself.
my God.
And I edited, and then I edited that
For
shit
another 50
for another
Sundays.
50 Sundays. I bullshit you not. I'm serious.
I love
the
But
hustle.
check this out.
Oh my God.
So check this out. I did the movie, right? And the thing that I did, it fucked up. I forgot about the audio.
Oh my God.
My God.
I did everything, man. I did everything right, and I went to the. I mean,
No, you didn't.
Listen.
Clearly you didn't.
Listen. I'm a freaking chef. I'm a chef.
my God.
I'm a chef. So I don't
you
know. I don't
are.
know anything about this.
No, you
so,
don't.
So I go to the AD, right? And this cat, he's one of them cheap ass filmmakers. He still ain't came up. Right now, he's in Jasper, Texas, still shooting freaking Halloween flicks and shit. Which is cool. He done shot 1,000 of them motherfuckers, but
Oh, my God.
still though, you know what I
Hilarious.
mean? This cat,
You're crazy.
yeah, but so I went up to him and I was like, dude, I can fucking rent a boom mic. Why you didn't tell me? We shooting on a freaking lapel like we shooting a TV show. I was like, shit, no, no, it's not fun.
like clip-
Not if
like
it's like,
clip
yeah,
go out.
yeah, like put that shit on the broomstick, tie it up, and then hold it.
Oh,
It's like,
my God.
so
Hilarious.
after everything was done,
thought to
Make a
make
movie.
a movie about your life, and I mean, not just. I mean, I
But
know
you're
a lot
also
of people
a
that
pastry
should
chef.
have-
You studied.
but you don't understand.
But we
I-
gave you the inclination that you yourself, that I'm not a filmmaker, but I can make a movie.
Because, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't mean to get
Please.
deep, but I'm a descendant.
Yes.
I really think that I'm a descendant of this bloodline of this very first famous African American chef. His name is Hercules, the chef. You heard of him before?
Hercules, the god.
No, Hercules, the chef.
No.
Actually, his name is Hercules, but they call him Hercules. It was Hercules. That was his name, but they call him Hercules, right? Hercules was.
Sorry, my daughter is really loud in the background. Auntie Cass has to go handle that.
Oh, this is real gangster right here. You know, this is real gangster right here. That's
We should
okay.
have announced that we are filming our
Oh, no,
podcast, I Look Good Naked, at the home of Cassandra Beatles. So yeah, there's kids in the background, and she just went to shut them up. That's all.
They call me the house chef, so you know it's okay.
It's the house chef. Yeah, you came up with the
So
house.
we'll fill Cass on back on
We
the story.
keep it real 100. Yeah, we'll fill Cass in.
Hercules is George Washington's chef, slave chef.
Oh wow.
He was George Washington's chef, and he was the very first celebrity chef.
Oh my God.
And what made him unique was Hercules was getting paid back then $200 a year.
Oh my God.
As a slave chef for Washington. And how he made his money, not by working with Washington, but Washington would let him sell like all the scraps that was left over, the skin and things like that. But he was cooking like high-end stuff. But really what makes it interesting was he had white people under him that he was like telling them what to do.
For the dishes.
Yeah, he had power. He had power. Like, so how I really got deep with Hercules was this cat, he's a friend of mine. His name is Andrew Miller. He wrote this book. It's out. It came out. I met him at the Decatur Book Fair, called The President's Kitchen Cabinet. He wrote about all the president's chefs all the way up to Obama.
Oh wow!
All the way to Obama.
So back to Hercules. Did he cook under anyone else, or was it just George Washington?
No, what happened was he cooked, and this is my theory. You know, there's a book coming out. No, this is my theory of
Don't be making
Hercules.
shit up,
No, I'm not making it up. This is the shit that's in the book. This is at the African American Museum in D.C. Right? So Hercules cooked for George Washington, and he escaped on George Washington's birthday. He escaped because he wanted to be free. All he wanted to do was be free. And people was wondering, like, why Hercules leave his kids? Why Hercules leave his kids? Left his kids, like, how can you leave your kids if you want freedom like that bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't his kids. It was Washington's kids.
Right.
But Hercules, like, they was believing that they was his kids from his wife. They came from his wife, but it wasn't his kids.
Shit.
Yeah. So, you know, that was my
Oh, my
theory.
God.
That was my theory. No man leaves his kids.
But why is that your theory? Where did you get this?
Because Hercules, when he was a little boy, he was whipped for stealing. And you know how you had those cheap ass clothes on? So this master, he's a little boy. He's getting whipped by a switch, right? You know how you get whipped? I don't know. You ever been whipped? You go all between your parents' legs.
I would
and
say
shit.
I got a whooping. I don't know if I've been whipped.
Well, whooping,
all of it spanked.
Whoop that trick, whip, whatever.
Well, when I think whipped, and you're talking about slavery,
Well,
I'm
he
thinking
was
something completely different.
He was getting whipped with a switch, and the switch caught him between his legs and split his
So
testicle.
you don't think he could have kids?
And he couldn't have kids because he had only one testicle.
I think you can have
Still
kids with one testicle.
Well, I mean, he couldn't have them.
That's my theory.
I dated a guy with one testicle one time. That's a whole nother
He
story.
couldn't have them.
Wait, pause, Cedric.
couldn't.
Please.
I did.
Pause.
He was in college.
Cass, please say that again.
I said I dated a guy with one testicle once.
Wow.
I did. He was a really popular guy on campus, like in college. And
How did he lose it?
He must have been super well
How did he lose
endowed.
it?
Is that why?
no, it was just he was just regular.
He
He was just pop. He was just a cool dude, and he was just popular. And like he was just cool and popular. That's it. Like he was so cool and popular that I actually. Like, even when we went out, like, I actually didn't even share it. I didn't tell people, like, oh, you guys know so-and-so. He only has...
No, why would you? You're not that kind of girl.
I'm not, but I was in college. I was young. It just seems like something you would share. But I was just like, oh, he's so cool. I don't want people to tease him. So I didn't. But he did have one testicle. But anyway.
Wow. Well,
and continue on.
It's so
okay.
digressing.
Well, like I said, that was...
And we have so much to talk to because I want to talk to you about your health. And why you started cooking healthy. And I know we've been going on. So,
I know.
So I'm
this
sorry.
Hercules story.
I know.
Well,
it is very
okay,
fascinating.
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you
listen.
for
All right,
sharing that.
let me talk about Hercules like 20 more seconds. Because,
Okay, 20 more seconds. Wrap up.
And the reason being because there's a book that's coming out in October, a biography autobiography, but Hercules. And you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot more because I want to do a movie about that shit.
I would love to do a movie about it.
Well, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do a movie.
We're gonna do that.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna do that movie.
It's already in the works, and my man, Andrew Miller, that wrote the book with the president's cabinet. Even from Obama, like the young lady. I'm like, she's gonna kill me. I can't think of her name, but she's in the book, the last chapter with Obama because she took care of Obama the last 8 years on Air Force One. So that was like deep. So that's stories that people, they don't know. They don't know about.
They don't know how amazing.
But listen, just look out for Hercules the Chef. And moving on next, let's talk about health.
Let's talk about you and your health.
Yeah.
So you cooked us a very healthy meal.
Yeah.
You cooked us a variety of things. We had a vegetarian lasagna with no noodles. No noodle vegetarian lasagna.
Yeah.
We had salmon sliders with a white fish. Another kind of fish was in it as well. It was
Yes,
salmon.
it was a cod. It was cod and
salmon. Croquettes, sliders. They were amazing.
I had a charcuterie board, which is a European cheese tray. A charcuterie board.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, charcuterie. Like hello.
And that sounds
hello.
very English. It was very English. Charcuterie board.
Yeah.
With?
It had olives. It had celery, carrots.
What else? But you were
Basil.
telling us how you haven't always eaten healthy.
No.
So talk to me a little bit about that transition, because we want to talk about how to eat healthy and how to, maintain a good, healthy eating habits.
Okay. First of all, I got diagnosed with diabetes around 5 years ago.
Okay.
And what happened is I noticed that, I had to get oral surgery. I knew it was like my teeth was like falling out and, I was having like, my wife couldn't stand it. She was like, your breath stinks. And it was like sugar and diabetes, it affects everything. So that's how I knew the beginnings. I got surgery. And then I started to, my sugars was high.
Were you overweight?
No, it was hereditary from my mom. My mom, had it, and my grandfather had diabetes. So just over the last 6 months, I just had to get really serious to get my health back. So I changed my diet. I exercised. It was just crazy. I weigh 180 pounds, but I ate everything. I ate pork, chicken, beef. It doesn't matter. And now I'm a pescatarian, I guess you call it that. I just eat fish and vegetables. So I use my creative juices to make like super healthy and tasty things without like a meat substitute. And even my wife, she's the same. She don't even eat cheese. So I'm living this healthy lifestyle because I'm fucked up. Fucked up.
So before
I'm sorry, I can't cuss.
No,
we cuss all the
obviously we
time.
cuss all the time.
Especially me. Cass, not so much. But before this happened and you were cooking, were you cooking unhealthy meals? Just tasty but unhealthy?
Let me tell you, I ran a French restaurant for 7 years. The premier restaurant, the South of France restaurant, is right next to the famed 112. I was there when all the shit went down. When the girl got threw over, I remember 50 Cent's album release. He came and took a piss in my restroom, like in the kitchen, like GGG unit, just all that shit, like next door. It was like crazy. I was there on Cheshire Bridge for almost 8 years. I was there during the Olympics.
Cheshire Bridge has seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like that was my hangout. That was my trap. That was like a trap kitchen. Like that's what So I was like, it was French. Everything was butter. I used to cook for clients and then go to their funeral.
Oh,
and I felt guilty and shit because I was like, shit, I killed them. But they was like, no. They was like, they was 80 years old. And I asked this guy, I was like, why you eat like that? He was like, Ced, I'm 80. What the hell I need to eat healthy for? So you had that kind of attitude, but I'm 48, so I can't roll like that. And then being a chef, like tasting and eating all of this stuff, man. It's just like, nah. So, you know, with me, like, you know, working for a lot of celebs and athletes and, you know, these guys, man, like eat like everything. I had like guys bringing produce and shit from their farm.
Yeah.
I mean, these cats, like, when they say health is a new wealth, health is a new wealth.
Yes.
You know, and that's you know, that's how it is, you know, and I mean, I tell you.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Thank God for your
I mean.
Can you see the difference, or do you feel the difference now over the last year? Like how more energy, like how have you,
everything,
you know?
everything, you know, I used to smoke, drink. I cut all that shit off, you know, it's like I had to.
Is that why you're not having a cocktail with us tonight?
No, it's not the reason I'm not having a cocktail, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to fall out like Jodeci. It's all hot in here and shit.
Why is that your go-to?
It's my go-to.
Why is Jodeci your
Let me
go-to?
Let me tell you why Jodeci is my go-to. All right.
Oh my God.
When people see bad shit happen, like, you know, in public, they always be like, oh yeah, and they call up, hey, did you see what happened? Did you hear? And all that shit. With me, that was me. So I ain't gonna call anybody. That was me. So when bad shit happen to people, that's me.
Right.
I put myself in their position. I don't be like, you know, I put myself in that position where they say, Ced got caught up. I'm sorry, baby. A public announcement and shit. No, man, I don't want to do that. I see me. I don't laugh at them or nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I see me. You know, like when I see these cats, you know, in the little basement or whatever talking, and I'm like looking at these cats and stuff. I was like, weak ass motherfucker. Y'all talking stuff.
I know there's a show.
Well, you know, don't be guessing and shit. But I watched the show the other night, and I was just like, wow, man, this is crazy, because guys, you need to be talking about that health and shit instead of like bullshit. And that's what they was talking about, like bullshit and how heavy the chain was and all that. That's all good, but it's like, man, I'm trying to save you niggas.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, for real. This is like real talk, because I watched a friend of mine die.
Yeah.
You know, and he was young and he was a chef. And once again, I saw myself on that hospital bed dying. Like, that was me, because everything, this was my idol. I mean, I was looking, this guy was like the first African American on the culinary Olympic team. You know, he was like all of that, man. And I was like, this dude is like dying because of his liver. And you talk about being scared. I'm scared too, because like I have my nerves like losing it. And then check this out about
He drinks
cup.
a sip of water.
About I guess a month ago, I was like wow, feel like I'm having like bladder leakage. Like, I'm like, man, I'm leaking. I'm like, and then when I'm chopping by the cutting board, I'm like leaking. And I'm like, then I take off my pants and I was like, I don't see anything. Everything's dry. I was like, damn. So I picked up the phone. I called my doctor. And he was like, oh, you know, it sounds like more your arteries. I was like, oh shit, my arteries. Like, oh shit, man. You know, I'm like scared.
Your arteries are leaking. What does that mean?
I'm scared, right? So I'm working at this church. Well, actually, it's In Touch Ministries. You know, I got a friend of mine, like he works over there, man. Stanley. All right, he's over there, right?
So What's up, Stanley?
So I'm over there.
At In Touch.
Yeah, In Touch Ministry. Stanley. I don't know your last name, Stanley, but you're the guy on it, you know, whatever. But anyway, I'm telling my boy, right? And my boy has his business partner, man. This dude is super smart, man. You know, he ain't always been smart and shit. He did some jail time and shit. You know, but
Jail time will make you smart.
But check this out. Both of them, man, but these dudes are like on top of their shit, man, right? So he came in there and I was like, man, I'm glad to see you. So I'm gonna ask him about this leakage problem and shit, right? So I went up to him, I was like, hey man, you know, I'm having this problem, man. You know, I feel like I'm leaking, man, but there's nothing there, dude. It's like I'm leaking. And he was like, he said, I'm dry. He said, well, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Oh, look, you know what it is? He said, it's your back. I was like, my back? I was like, well, I just ate this morning. What you talking about? Ain't nothing wrong with my back. I can move. I mean, you know, I can move. Ain't nothing wrong with my back. He's like, it's your back, man. It's that number 6 nerve. Let me show it to you, you know? he pulled out and he showed, like, he's like, it's my back. And he was like, you know, you got this little thing, like, here, so hold up. I was like, dude, I haven't had any problems with my back. And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was like, uh-oh. He's like, oh, yeah, I knew it'd come out. Just like in a lawyer, you know, like. I was like, oh, shit. I remember it. 2 months ago, I got hit from behind at a stoplight. At a stoplight. I was stressing that day, in a hurry. I'm at a stoplight picking up my son, and all of a sudden, boom, a tap. I was like, oh, God damn. And I was like, I need some new tires on this bitch anyway.
See, that's black people. We always try to get something new.
I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, right?
Meanwhile, your back's all messed up.
No. Meanwhile, I'm like, got the ride to see, you know, who hit me. And I was like, oh, hope it ain't a gank move, because they brothers tap you and shit.
Right.
Then one go around the front with that styrofoam, you know. So this old lady was in this big ass truck. She was shaking. I saw my grandmother. I just looked at her, man. Looked at it, I didn't see no damage, nothing. Because she tapped me, got in my ride, and drove off. I told the cat the same story, right? He said, you know what? You should have saw her like your grandmother leaving you some money.
Hilarious.
And I was like, pissed. I was like, I can't believe this. You know, how can I be so stupid? But that's what it was. It was.
So
it's like a nerve on your back, like a particular.
It's a number 6, and he showed me exactly where it started. It started like in my groin. It goes down and stops at my ankles, and then when I'm running, sometimes because I run, you know, like 10 miles a week, I'm feeling like I'm dripping from behind, and it's the nerves behind. And I tell people, know your body. Like, know your body. And some people, they don't know their body.
Right. Or we have things that are wrong, but then we just don't know.
You know your body. And I had no idea. And it's like your back, it has like, in health, I wish I'd have been paying attention, except the other shit they show. But when they always have the diagram of the body with the veins and all that, I'd be like, oh, that shit looks too boring. I don't know about all that, you know.
So did you get fixed? Did you fix your back, groin, whatever?
Well, I started out with an x-ray, and the next move, I had to go in steps. So they're going to stick these little pins in me.
Acupuncture?
Yeah, and find out how they can fix it, you know. But, you know, that was crazy, man. I mean, I was just like, man, I got to go find that old lady, though, man, and tell her, man, she got to... got to help me out here, man, because I had her, man. I mean, I was like,
you know what,
I was like, wow.
I can't.
No,
so Ced, okay, give us some advice. Give us some words. You were saying earlier, you were talking about things, basically about men not getting checked up and not really taking care of. If you could like kind of sum up what it is you would tell men, people in general, about their diet, about their health, just from a chef or from, all the wisdom and knowledge you have.
Okay. From a nutshell, I just tell people that processed foods, like with me personally, if I eat something that's like processed, I have some chemicals in it, I have what I call a dope bag. I have this black bag I carry around. It has my insulin, Benadryl, them whatchamacallits, whatever, in my dope bag.
Hold up. What's the whatchamacallits?
That's what Gucci Man say, whatchamacallit. I don't know what it is, but it's something cool. It's something cool. He said, I got that whatchamacallit, and I had the stimulus, and it's the stimulus. But anyway.
I don't listen to a lot of Gucci Man, I guess.
So, what happens if I eat something that has chemicals in it? Mostly things you can't pronounce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is in most of our foods.
In most of our foods. And just try to eat clean. Just try to eat clean. Yeah. For as like black men at 40, at 40 years old, black men don't like to go to the doctor. They just don't like to go to the doctor. They scared, you know what I mean? But you have to go. Because I was one of them. That's why I tell people, my experience. Yeah. You see me like, oh, man, the Sizzle, like, look, he's slim, trim. He got it all together. No, man, it's an ongoing process. You know, it's ongoing, and that's health is the new wealth.
But and then I have a kind of an issue too, even just with the health care system and going to doctors, because I feel like I wonder if we can trust them sometimes, because I feel like they're always trying to recommend this medication
With
or this
with things we
stuff
can't
that I
pronounce.
can't pronounce. And so I'm very cautious about when I do go to the doctor about what they're prescribing for me to take for whatever.
But I think that goes back to knowing your body too, because
Yeah.
even we just can't take doctors at their word. There's all sorts of
'Cause there's a
information out there,
system.
and we
Yeah.
can do once we get whatever this diagnosis is, we can also do our research.
That's right.
You know.
And that's another thing that you have to do. And also, some people, they just refuse to take medicine, period. You know, and I did. I tried as long as I could not to take insulin, because I thought it was like a bad thing. I thought it was a bad thing, but it saved my life, because otherwise, I mean, if I wouldn't give myself these shots, I would go into a diabetic coma. I know I would. But my advice is to get with someone that don't take medicine and use their remedies. Another problem that I had was
Explain that. Get with someone that
doesn't take medicine but use like home remedies.
Home
You know,
remedies.
and they real basic stuff that they use. Like for instance, and I heard this from 3 people. Told me this. I was having problems with my taste. Like every time I like taste like sugar or certain flavors, I would feel like this metallic taste in my mouth, you know. So I'm researching and looking, I can't find anything. And I talked to this lady today, matter of fact, and she told me, she said, sounds like you need a liver cleanse. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And she was like, just do some warm water with lemon, lots of it. As soon as you wake up in the morning, drink it. Like people say, drink water, drink water. You have to drink at least 2 bottles as soon as you wake up before you do anything. Drink that water. Some people drink Cokes, you know.
Yeah, they wake
soft
up and
drinks.
drink
Yeah. Oh, I need the caffeine. You know, I got to have my caffeine, but not drink coffee black, just no sugar. And then I use agave for a sweetener, and use other sweeteners. You know, and
What sweeteners do you recommend?
agave is more natural, but I recommend like fruits. You know, if you just have to have sugar or like
What about honey?
honey is cool, but you have to be careful and make sure it's organic and it's not cut, because that's the thing with me being in the food business, man. You have to watch it because, I mean, I tried a little, manufacturing, and I was able to work at manufacturing warehouses and seeing how they get down, man. And it's kind of scary,
Yeah.
It's kind of scary the way, the food game is, but everybody have to make a living, but it's choices that you have to make, and that's
it's like, don't make a living off of my expense at the expense of me and my life.
And see, that's the way, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and then they be playing this tape, your podcast 2 years from now, and you'd be like, Ced, you remember you said you wouldn't do that shit?
Said it.
Hey, I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep it as real as I can keep it by, staying healthy and not promoting something I don't believe in.
Right.
That's right.
And that's just being real. I mean, I can promote a lot of other stuff that I believe in than sitting there like on an ad and shit about, acting like I like something, you know what I mean, when it's killing me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, so that's basically how it is in a nutshell.
Well, Chef Cedric, we appreciate you coming through.
We do. We
with us
enjoyed
tonight.
our food.
Thank you for our food. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your testimony. We really appreciate it. Excuse our producer, Melissa, who had an outburst on her cell phone. She's been drinking tonight. It's her birthday, and I got her a little drunk. So she just had a little mishap there. That doesn't usually happen on our podcast.
I have a tradition that I do for birthdays.
What's your tradition for birthdays?
You didn't ask me about my pans.
I didn't ask you. Okay, so he's got these amazing pans that have
The bottom
the bottom
are out.
Are out. They're like butt out pans. They have the Falcons logo.
That was my Super Bowl. That was in the Super Bowl.
This one has a heart, and we're gonna take a picture of it. So you have to go to I Look Good Naked, our IG, and you can see a picture of my face through the heart.
Now, what do you do with these pans?
What do you do with these pans?
You cannot cook.
You
with
can't
them.
cook anything.
There's no
with
way.
them.
They don't have any bottom.
They're called trick pans.
What does that mean?
Trick pans.
Trick
Okay.
pans.
Basically, what happened when I first got diagnosed with diabetes, I started, working out, but I had no weights. So I had like hundreds of these saute pans in my basement. So I started lifting them up and like working out with them.
Oh.
So one day my neighbor was watching me work out. He had his headphones on. I had the music on. He had his headphones watching me, and he was laughing, like, because he said that I was working out to the beat, with these pans. So I was like, wow, these are pretty cool, right? So I started working out longer for cardio. So I cut the hose out, so they can be light. Yeah, that's crazy. So
That's somebody that really has been
what I
drinking
do
too much.
is find me some music. Find me some music.
We need music.
Yeah, give me some music.
Okay, this is how
For birthday.
This is how we're going out. Okay, so this is your tradition.
Okay.
Okay, so
Are you about to do a dance for her or something? Oh God!
please
I'm
get
just
this
gonna
on video. I don't
please
even
get
know what's
this on
about to
video.
happen.
I don't know what's gonna happen
With
either.
these-
Turn it up.
Is he gonna juggle with these pots and pans?
Why? Oh.
Okay,
This is how we're going out. This is for the birthday girl.
Oh my
Lord.
God. Well, I just want to thank you all
Thank
for
you guys for
tuning in and
tuning
listening.
into our podcast. Please follow us. Follow us at Terry J. Vaughn. Follow us at Cass Seegers. Follow us at ILGN Podcast. Nina Holiday ENT.
And
Just follow us.
Chef, what's your
IG?
At Ced Sizzle.
At
Ced
Ced
Sizzle.
Sizzle. Look for his book in 3 months, and now Melissa is about to the chef game.
Now
It's
Melissa's getting a treat for her
I don't
birthday.
know what's about to
Thank
happen,
you.
but
I Look Good Naked Podcast. Yes. Yo, Chef. This is the worst stripper routine I have ever
why is he
seen
shaking these pots
in
like
my
they're a tambourine? No.
life. Uh-oh. He's doing some moves. He's flipping. Oh.
That's why he been married 30 years. What's going on with his wife and chef? That's why your back is all.
This is why your back is messed up.
This is why you peeing down your back.
Your bladder is leaking. What is happening? Why are the holes in your back? Ah.
Look at you. He's a clever chef.
He is a very good Chef Sizzle.
What does Chef Sizzle got to do?
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Can you imagine coming in? I can't.
Oh my God.
And good night.
I Look Good
And good night,
Naked.
everyone.
Y'all. Thank you, Chef Ced.
I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money. I'm a boss chick, yeah, I'm a boss lady. I be calling shots, I be getting money.